Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Today is the 265th episode of Be With Me. And we've got something surprising and startling and encouraging in our passage today. And I ask that you listen to it with me. This is from Luke chapter 12, verse 50 or 35. Let's start with that. The section is titled, You Must Be Ready. And this is a little passage about readiness, but then there's a pearl inside of there too. Verse 35, Stay dressed for action, keep your lamps burning, and be like men who are waiting for their master to come home from the wedding feast, so that they may open the door to him at once when he comes and knocks. Blessed are those servants whom the master finds awake when he comes. Truly, I say to you, he will dress himself for service and have them recline at table, and he will come and serve them. If he comes in the second watch or in the third and finds them awake, blessed are those servants. But know this, that if the master of the house had known at what hour the thief was coming, he would not have left his house to be broken into. You must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. Peter then said, Lord, are you telling this parable for us or for all? And the Lord said, Who then is the faithful and wise manager, whom his master will set over his household, to give them their portion of food at the proper time? Blessed is that servant whom his master will find so doing when he comes. So there's a lot in this passage that's relatively clear, relatively straightforward. I'm not saying it's easy. The big point is Jesus is coming back, which is our great hope. And he's going to assess and reward and punish. So that's sobering. But the big call is for us to be ready. The term in Hebrew is to have your loins girded, and there's a good picture with that. So they have like these long roby things that kind of go down to their ankles, and most of the time this was the appropriate way of wearing that clothing. But if you had your loins girded, you would bend down, reach the back part that would hang off your backside, and pull that up and tuck it into your belt in the front, and that would allow you to be able to run with your legs unencumbered. So that's the picture that he's having. He says, have your loins girded, be ready to run, keep your lamps burning, be dressed for action, have some light, be able to see when the door gets knocked upon. There's a point about being servants and being awake and being faithful, obviously. Then this verse blew my mind today. Blessed are the servants whom the master finds awake when he comes. That part's consistent with the rest of the passage. And then this little pearl here. Truly I say to you, he, Jesus, will dress himself for service and have them. So Jesus is going to serve the servants in his church and in his kingdom and have them recline at table, and he will come and serve them. Let me say it again. So this is talking about Jesus putting on his waiter clothes, if you will, and having his, what used to be servants, recline at table in this end time banquet at the marriage supper, where the Lamb is marrying the church, so to speak, as it says in Revelation. And Jesus is coming and serving them. It's almost like this is an imperfect picture, but you know how when you're at a wedding, banquet, wedding reception, and you're at a table, and then the bride and the groom may come over to your table, and you're just like, this is supposed to be for you, and now you're coming over to be kind to me. I'm here to be kind to you and to support you as the new bride and groom, and to celebrate your marriage and to recognize this before God and man, and I want to be a part of that for you. And then you have the bride and groom come over and be nice to you. It's like, wait, that flips it upside down. And that's what this picture is here, where if we're faithful servants, there's like this reward where Jesus dresses himself to serve us, has us literally recline, or whatever, figuratively here, have them recline at a table in heaven at the end time, and then Jesus comes and serves us. It's just mind-blowing. Obviously, I don't think this should be our motivation, that we serve him to get this end time service, but still, it's a beautiful picture. The big picture is to be ready, for the Son of Man is coming. He's going to come unexpectedly. He's going to come at an hour that we don't expect. He uses a thief in the night to illustrate that. So be dressed, be awake, be responsive, have the lights on, be ready to respond at once. Manage his stuff well. He wants to find us continuing to distribute food, continuing to be served. So one of the thoughts I had about this was aging in the church. And I've heard people say, well, we had our time for that, for serving in the church. So here's my charge to you. If you are one that can impart institutional memory to your church, that is, if you've been around for a while, you remember the way things used to be, then you are one that can impart institutional service. So if you can impart institutional memory, you can impart institutional service. You can be lit up, active, awake, and expecting. And for you young in the church and overwhelmed in other ways in your life, you also have a call to serve your brothers and sisters in the church. So for all of us, really, Jesus is saying, stay dressed for action, gird your loins, be lit up, keep your lamps burning, be ready, and continue to serve the church until either he comes back or until he calls you home. I bless you, my brothers and sisters, as you serve and continue to do that for him.